Alright, so this is a question 3, backside of this worksheet Venn diagram set notation for this week. And I want to kind of walk through what I'm thinking with how to describe the shaded space. And first off, I'm noticing that the outside border is shaded, and usually when that happens you want some kind of not statement. And so I'm looking at A is not shaded, and so I think that's going to be useful in describing this. So I'm gonna just sketch right here so you understand what I'm thinking, not A. But then I also want it to not be in this intersection of B and C. And so if we consider the intersection of B and C, I want not that space. The opposite would be everything on the outside. I'm going to write that space and draw that right here. Okay, so that we have not the A space and not the intersection of B and C. So this is B intersects C, and this is not A. So those are two different shaded spaces, and I'm going to combine them. And the question is, am I going to add this shaded space to this shaded space, or consider where they would be overlapping? If I were to somehow take this one and place it on top, that would be an intersection. The intersection of this space and this space ends up looking like this. And if I were to sketch that, like you can see, this is the intersection here, and this one would be shaded on the outside and like this all the way around. And there's a lot going on here now, but the answer is where the two spaces intersect. And so we've got this group here, and then they're not A. And the overlap, the intersection of these two spaces is where both shadings happened. I shaded the not A and I shaded the B intersects C. And so I'm going to go back and erase all the spaces that did not get shaded by both. And it turns out that it's this right here. So this would be not A, and I forgot this apostrophe, not the intersection of that B and C circle. Alright, so I'm calling this one 3D. They're not labeled, but this is the fourth one in question 3, Venn diagram set notation, backside. And trying to describe this space. Now I'm noticing most of B is not shaded, and so I think it would be useful to consider not the B. And so I'm going to just go ahead and make a sketch of that here. But it also has these three little pieces in here that are shaded, and so I need to somehow add those spaces on. And I think the easiest way to do that is to consider the union of A and C. So let me sketch the union of A and C. And now I don't want, if I do the intersection, it would be the spaces that are shaded from both of these. That's not what we want, though. We want sort of to add this shaded space to this shaded space, and then we'll include that will allow us to include these three little pieces in here that aren't yet shaded. And so the final answer here is not B, but we're going to unite the not B set, the shading space, with this shaded space. And I realize some of it will get double shaded, but that's irrelevant to the unions. A union C. Okay, so and I think that's the most concise way to describe this shaded space. Okay, same homework here. This is question 4 now. It's the other way. We got to shade. This is the description, and we have to shade the space that matches that. And now this is 4. This is number 1. It's labeled 1, 2, 3, and so on. So first off, let's try to find not. You're kind of looking at this first thing as one set, and we're going to unite that with B. Now, B, we're going to unite these now because of the U here. So when we unite these, we add this shaded space to that shaded space, and really the only extra piece that gets shaded is the very center piece here. It's already mostly shaded, but then we're going to add any additional shading from the B that wasn't already there. And that leaves just this part of the intersection unshaded. So our final answer, so you're looking at the kind of the first set and then the second set, and you're either uniting them by adding their shadings together, or you're considering the intersection where they're both going to be shaded. Okay, this is question 4, part 4. A union, B intersect, not C. So A, that one's easy here. And B intersect, not C. Now, this is okay. B intersection C naught, or not C naught, and the space that's shaded both here and here, well, that would only be part of this B space that gets shaded by both. It's the intersection of this space and that space, which the intersection of the two of them is really just this part of B. Okay, so the intersection of those two looks like that. And if we consider now, if we unite the A space with that space, the final answer with this intersection here, and we already shaded the A space, so the only extra space that gets shaded is this part of B, and that's your answer.